All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the seventh annual AngelList Confidential. I want to start by sharing why AngelList was founded. AngelList was founded on a simple premise: serve the startup. This is a universal belief that guides how we make decisions. And there are three main things that we've found that a startup needs: capital, talent, and customers. And we're really focused on building products to help startups with the first two: capital and talent. First, let's start with a meta level view of how startups actually get funded. You can really think of it as a funnel. At the very top is all of the capital in the world. This capital is then allocated to VCs, and these VCs apply judgment and then choose which startups to fund. Our focus is on building products for each of these customers. So for capital, these would be LPs. For VCs, these are the GPs. And of course, the most important customer of them all, startups. You can best think of what we're building as two ecosystems that are side by side: funders and founders. Funders represent the GPs and LPs, and founders represent the startups. Let's start with the funders ecosystem. There are really three products here: rolling funds, venture funds, and syndicates. High-quality GPs use AngelList because we're their single partner to manage the entire fund. We've built software, and you can think of it as vertically integrated software to bundle everything they need to manage the fund. Simply put, you tap a button, you get a fund. But we didn't just stop at fund administration. All of the high-quality GPs that choose to work with AngelList can amplify the capital they raise using the AngelList Capital Network. This capital network includes individual investors, family office investors, and institutional investors all around the world. In fact, since we launched the AngelList Capital Network, GPs have raised an additional $2.3 billion in capital and earned $500 million in additional carry, all attributable to AngelList LPs. And as we look back at the last 12 months, our platform continues to accelerate. Last year at the AngelList Confidential, I shared we hit $7 billion in assets being supported. Today, we're at $14 billion in assets supported. We have 10,000 startups that have been funded, 282 unicorns, and 57% of all the top-tier US VC startups have been funded by a GP on the AngelList platform. I'm also excited to share a stat we've never shared before. We've now facilitated $1.2 billion in cash and stock distributions that have been paid out to LPs. This really is a testament to the quality of the GPs that are choosing to work with AngelList. In addition, there are three announcements that we have that we think will further improve the funders ecosystem. Let's go through them now. First is performance reporting. Our long-term focus is on providing GPs with real-time, verifiable, and auditable reporting. And over the coming weeks, we're taking the first step along this journey, and we're going to be rolling out a new dashboard for GPs. This dashboard is going to show detailed metrics. We'll proactively share data flags if there's ever an issue with reporting. And then eventually, this is going to show the underlying deal documents as well. Second, we're rolling out improvements to how high-quality funds can actually get discovered by the AngelList Capital Network. AngelList LPs will be able to discover all of the open funds directly from the Browse tab. And over time, GPs will be able to share their real-time, verifiable, and auditable performance metrics directly with these LPs. We expect this to increase the amount of additional capital GPs will raise from AngelList LPs. And third, we're eliminating our 5% carry on any AngelList LPs investing into syndicates or funds. GPs on AngelList will now keep their full 20% carry, regardless if they raise from their own LPs or from platform LPs. We think this is going to align incentives for that all of the high-quality GPs will share their fund and deals with the AngelList Capital Network, which further drives the funders ecosystem flywheel. Okay, now that we've covered the funders ecosystem, let's talk about the founders ecosystem. A year ago, we launched AngelList Stack, which really was a product to create a fundraising-ready startup. and it had 4 products embedded in it: incorporation, raise, banking, and equity management. These 4 products were a great fit regardless if you're a startup that was just incorporating or a startup that was scaling. And our growth over the last year is testament to the value we've been delivering to these startups. Founders have now raised a little bit more than $500 million in capital using the raise tools. Almost 1,500 companies have actually switched to use our equity management software from other providers. And we've saved a little bit more than $50 million for founders in using roll-up vehicles. Now, taking a step back, our focus with the tools we've built so far for startups have really centered around raising, banking, and recording capital directly on the cap table. But capital is just one of 3 problems a startup is looking to solve. As I mentioned at the beginning, talent is another. Specifically, increasing the probability that a startup can hire and retain great talent is critical to building something meaningful. So with that in mind, today we're announcing 3 features that we think will help startups hire and retain talent. First, we're launching Market Pay. This solves a perennial problem every startup faces when they open up a new role. What do I pay someone? And the options really suck today. Typically, startups, the founders will ask a VC who invested in the round, who typically has stale data, or they'll just get self-reported data via option impact. And most of the players in the industry are basically using and repackaging the same data set again and again, and it's very stale. We, of course, saw a better way. We're collecting and organizing data from proprietary sources that includes over 51,000 talent marketplace job listings across 17,000 companies broken down by job and location. And this is all in real time. Startups can confidently use this data to make competitive offers that are likely to get accepted by candidates. Now, of course, once startups have figured out the compensation they want to pay, the next problem is to tackle closing the candidate. And typically, great candidates are choosing from multiple offers. So it's really important to present the cash and equity compensation in a way that's easy to understand. Now, companies like Instacart and Shopify have actually figured this out and built their own internal tools to explain offers to candidates. Well, today we're announcing Offers, which will take this best practice and make it available for any startup. It's really simple. Startups can generate dynamic offer letters and send it to a candidate. And then a candidate sees a beautiful offer letter with a breakdown of the cash, what the equity is worth today, and scenarios of how the equity can grow in the future. And once they decide to accept it, they can simply choose accept the offer on the letter, which will then trigger all of the necessary board approvals and grant details and gets recorded on the cap table. No additional work needed. It works beautifully in the integrated suite. Lastly, we're launching PayRight. You can think of this as compensation on autopilot, where it enables real-time compensation benchmarking of your existing team. You simply connect your HRIS system, such as Gusto or ADP, and it will automatically generate a report highlighting which of your current team is below market rate. Then going forward, it'll automatically run in the background and alert leadership anytime anyone on your team is out of band. So this is really going to help startups make sure they never lose any of their best employees due to missed compensation expectations. Okay, so we've talked about the funders ecosystem and the founders ecosystem. Let's talk about the platform underpinning both. So if we rewind back to 2010, AngelList's very first product was a venture product to connect startups and investors together. And over the years, the team had an entrepreneurial streak and several offshoot businesses were built. In 2012, Talent Marketplace, which eventually became AngelList Talent. In 2016, a crowdfunding platform, which became Republic. And in 2017, crypto token sales, which became CoinList. Now, Republic and CoinList have been separate companies and brands for several years now. But AngelList Talent has always shared the AngelList brand. Today, we actually have important news to share around AngelList Talent. And so here to talk about this news is Amit, its CEO.
Thanks, Avlok. So 2 years after we founded AngelList, we started AngelList Talent to support startups in one of their most important activities, hiring their teams. And over the last 10 years, AngelList Talent has had a massive impact. We've helped over 150,000 startups connect with over 8 million candidates. And for me, it really goes beyond the numbers. I've been at this company for a while, and the thing that never gets old is hearing about people who've gotten life-changing jobs through our platform. And this ranges from people who are just breaking into tech to senior engineers looking for their 4th or 5th job. The thing that I love the most is when I hear about founders who joined their first startup because of us and then went on to hire their team through us. In fact, multiple unicorns made their first hires on our platform, and many continue to do so today. I'm just proud that AngelList Talent has been the place to connect the startup community over the last decade. And today, I'm excited to reintroduce AngelList Talent under our new name, Wellfound. By branching out as separate companies, Wellfound and AngelList will be able to move faster and hone in even further on the needs of our distinct audiences. For us here at Wellfound, that means doubling down on our mission to help the startup world find what's next. And we believe our new name embodies the spirit of discovery. One of the things that we've learned over the last decade is that many people don't just want to find a job. They want to find something to be a part of, especially in the startup space. And the way people are finding something to be a part of is changing. Beyond a list of jobs, people want guidance on where to look and insight beyond the job description. And so looking ahead, this belief will be our focus as we provide the tools, information, and support to help talent discover and connect with the right startups for them. And look, we know by doing so, we believe it'll lead to better hires. And this is especially important for startups where the right addition can change the trajectory of a company. Our team has been hard at work at building new ways for people to discover what's next. One of the things that we've recently launched is Discover, to give people an inside look into the startup ecosystem. It's our way of helping candidates find startups they might be excited about, founders they might want to work with, and industries they might want to switch into. Discover surfaces curated content from our in-house research team, making it easily discoverable all in one place. One of the things that I'm really excited about Discover is founder interviews. We're talking to up-and-coming founders, ones that you might not know yet, but likely will in the future. We've heard time and time again from candidates that founder fit is one of the most important factors when joining early-stage companies. And we're betting that by highlighting founders on our platform who we know are building amazing things, candidates will discover leaders that they want to work with. Discover also includes featured startup lists curated by our team. These lists help showcase startups by different attributes like industry and culture. Look, there are a lot of startups in the world, and our goal is to make sure candidates don't miss out on the ones that would be a great fit for them. And the exciting part is that this is just the beginning. In the coming days, weeks, and months, Wellfound will have a new look, a new domain, and new additions to our product. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out wellfound.com today. So, just to close this out, I've been at AngelList for 9 years, when we were 10 people to now like 5 companies and hundreds of people. And the one thing that still unites us from then to now at our core is we've always been about innovating for the innovators. And it's been a pleasure serving the people of the startup community as a part of AngelList. And I couldn't be more excited to continue to do so as Wellfound. Thank you so much. And now back to Avlok.
Okay, great. Thanks, Amit. So as Amit mentioned, starting today, all venture products will live at angellist.com. and talent marketplace products will live at wellfound.com. And of course, the partnership between AngelList and Wellfound will continue well past the spin out. You just saw a little flavor of it earlier today with the compensation data and the benchmarking. So the renewed focus on venture products, we're making a few additional changes. Number one, we're actually refreshing the AngelList brand, and you'll be seeing this change across the website. From the marketing website to when you log in, you'll notice a whole new feel to it. The second thing is we're evolving the funders and founders ecosystem, the labeling I walked through earlier, into build, lead, and invest. Build is going to represent the startups, lead will represent GPs, and invest will represent LPs. And lastly, we're removing the stack distinction for the startup tools. And that's really to let each of the products for startups shine. And Stack was really started as a cohesive suite, but over the last year, now each of the products really can stand on their own 2 feet. So that's why we're removing the stack distinction. So in short, all of the AngelList products are now coming together into a single unified platform. And I'm really excited about all of these changes, as I do think it'll further our purpose of accelerating innovation in the world. Okay, so that's it for the announcements and the keynote. We have a stellar lineup of speakers and topics today and tomorrow, from Sam Altman talking about AI to Ryan Hoover talking about founder VCs. I'm sure you're all going to find these sessions productive and engaging. Thank you for tuning into the keynote. Have a wonderful day.